This week we're gonna chill out. I'm gonna paint Gandhi, and Jackie tries to drown my mom.
It's time for drastic art measures. All right, John. So, what did you? We posted it to Facebook. So, what are you going to do today?
Oh, I'm gonna paint Gandhi, and I was gonna put a JPEG online, guys. And I haven't done that yet. I wasn't sure if anybody would want to, like paint along with me, and I thought, well, I don't know. But I do want to make that available, but I held off for just a little bit because I wanted to get y'all's input, because just see what you guys want, if y'all want that. And we're putting together, this is kind of exciting. We're putting together some art coloring books for adults. And not only like my art or our art and all this sort of stuff, but actually with some other artists. And so, which I'm really excited about, if all that works and it. So we're gonna do that, but maybe Gandhi might be one of those. I mean, one of the things. Mom's joining us right now.
Yep, she's
We'll
she's navigating she's navigating the gauntlet that is the studio, because we are still in transition and there are like tripods everywhere. I would turn the camera around, but I'm scared it would be a domino effect of tripods on top of John. But so it's a little crazy, but we're gearing up, and you're in a new spot.
I am, which is odd because now I'm on the other side of the studio, and usually on that side. Although I painted in every corner of the studio, all over it. So this is actually where I started way back in the day when we first moved here. And I moved over there because I was trying to be closer to the sound system. But instead, I just moved the sound system back over here, and I'm close to the sink and all that. But it's weird, though, because I feel kind of like Zoolander in the first movie where you couldn't turn left, I'm actually turning right when I'm over there. So now I'm having to practice my left turn and get my blue still over there. Sorry, you guys.
As long as you keep up the jig, every once in a while the dance moves. Yeah, just like that.
Just try and stop me.
So, do you want to talk a little bit about, let me ask this. Did you preload the drawing portion of Gandhi for people to watch?
Yeah, it's on there.
Should I show it?
Not right at the moment.
Okay.
Not right now.
All right.
But let's do. And it's got a hip vibe to it, which is nice.
Okay.
It's all classic, so that's cool. So it'd be time for anybody to break out your dancing when we watch that, because Mom, feel free to get up, because if you're gonna hear the beat, you're gonna want to get up. It's just, but no, what I wanted to ask really quickly, we're really trying to amp the show up. Like, we're trying to get better sound, better video, better everything, and there's a good reason for that. It's not just because I want it to be clear, I want it to be clear, but I mean, it's not just because I want to be on the, like, hey guys, let's just make a show and let's just all about us. But we're doing an art show. Yeah, it is about us. No, I've looked far and wide, and there isn't like a show like this on YouTube, like where you can, because the idea is, the whole reason for this is that we go all over the place when we teach art workshops, and it's really hard to get people together sometimes. I mean, we can get people together for an art workshop anywhere, but I mean, especially like people with disabilities, people with special needs, and I know most of the audience isn't that, but for an art workshop, it's open to everybody. So
I thought this was like a paint and sip where you didn't have to feel guilty about how much you drank.
Well, that's it too. That's the whole thing.
Because you did it at home.
And most of the art workshops, though, it's either for a professional artist, it's for an amateur. You look at it, and there's a level to it. But with the museums and the workshops that we teach there, we go the complete opposite way. So it's open for everybody. So it's open for everybody, and also relaxed sort of thing, just like you were saying. Where you can sit back and have a drink or whatever. And you're in your home.
Okay, I will.
Yeah, I've talked Mom into it. So anyway, so we're working on that, but so we're trying to get like a higher quality sort of video going. Right now the video is really kind of a low quality, and the reason I'm mentioning this is because if you notice a stutter in the video, if you notice bad audio, of course, I mean, we're going over the internet, there's going to be a stutter from now and then, but if you notice some problems with the video, please let us know. One of the things that we've noticed that we've learned is that our computer probably just isn't up to the task.
Yeah.
Apparently you need. And it's funny because the computers, I have 2 laptops, and computers I've always bought for like the last 15 years or so. I've always sort of patted myself on the back because I didn't have to worry about video cards and all that. Like, I didn't care about the graphics. I'm not looking at it anyway. So I'll get a computer that has a great processor, but the graphics card is like small, it's diminutive or whatever, and which is works great because I don't really use it to send out video. So until now, and it's bit me in the bottom, I have to say, because so
Yeah, upgrading is necessary.
because like right now I think we're at like 360p or something like that. I mean, it's really
And I
low.
can't convert them to a Mac, so it's an uphill battle.
No, I'm down to convert to a Mac.
Oh, y'all going to talk about Max versus Apple again.
Oh my god, no! I mean, I will definitely go to a Mac. It doesn't matter. Like I just
Oh,
want
it
to-
is on record.
It's twice as much though. Like I saw a PC that would do it for like $600, but,
Yeah.
and then there was a Mac for 15. And I'm like,
No,
geez.
you get what you pay for.
Well,
So anyway,
Oh.
yeah.
yeah. So if
That'd
anybody
be good.
knows like a great deal for a computer, let us know because this is it's a problem. It's a real problem because we're wanting to get it the higher quality and all that, but we're hitting this brick wall, and where you can only do so much, and so we're hitting that, and we're trying to find ways around it. But anyway, that's what's up with that. So if you notice a problem in the video, let us know, please. If you notice a problem with the sound, let us know, like in the comments or chat. Open the chat and get on there. I'd really appreciate it because we're learning this. We're on the learning curve. We're trying to put this together. We're trying to make a channel that I, as an artist, would love. Like I would love it if I could tune in every week and there's an artist on there with live models, with things going on, saying, "Hey, let's draw this, let's do that." And so that's something that we're wanting to create in the future, and hopefully in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Anyway, I probably droned on enough about that.
All right.
I just get really excited. I mean,
You
oh
do
my
get
goodness.
excited.
Oh my goodness! Like Gary Simmons and Hot Springs, they meet once or twice a week since 1972 or something. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Hmm.
And so they have access to this where they meet and they all draw and they have art, and that's rare. You don't really find that, but here on the internet we can have that. And that's something that I'd like to do.
Yeah,
So anyway,
we're doing it. Let's do it.
Gandhi.
I want to
Gone.
say,
It's gone. Yes.
I want
Tonight's about peace and love and Jackie trying to drown my mother this week.
I didn't try to drown her.
Baptize her,
Well,
maybe? Is that
yeah,
what it was like?
yeah.
Don't come out.
Yeah, I'm the person to do that.
she wasn't very good at it, evidently.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
here.
she's still here. See, it's fine.
So I want to get into that.
She
story.
took me paddle boarding. Thank you very much. It was fun. We talked about doing it forever, and we finally
Yeah.
did, and it was a lot of fun.
It's
Yeah.
funny though with the paddleboarding, they insist that if you've never done it to take a class, and Jackie has done it, but my mom hasn't, and
The deal is that the place where you rent the paddle boards, they wanted you to take an introductory class to do it. I don't know who out there has paddleboarded before. I find it a little easy. I mean, it's a giant board. You stand on it, whatever.
Until
So-
you fall off.
So the idea was that they tell you can't rent their paddle boards till you take this introductory class. Well, I was like, well, just let me talk, Debbie. Just let me talk. Just let me talk. And
We
so
know
we get
that's
there,
not
tell
gonna
them that we've
happen.
already taken the introductory class.
you know it's already gone around.
We've taken the introductory class. Just give us the board so we can go. The hitch is that the class was happening right when we were getting the board, so we had the whole time. We had to kind of like act like we knew what we were doing, which was a little bit trickier than
Yeah, so
I thought, because
so you guys
Well,
were going to go up there, and you decided
Hey,
beforehand.
don't point at
that-
me when you say that. I
So
thought I did
you
good.
guys decided that you were going to pretend that you had taken the class, like that you were the paddleboard experts.
well, I'm not experts, but
And
you
then-
know.
So you
knew
decided this in the car. You were riding up there, and then.
Well, no, this was a conversation we had on the phone prior to it, because
Oh.
you have to sign. You have to like.
Hey, I didn't come here to get
Reserve.
bashed.
But then, whenever you get there and you're walking up to the guy, what happens?
Well, and then we get up there and Debbie.
What is this?
Debbie's like, so you have to take a class to rent your paddleboards? And I'm like, we've done it before. I don't know what she's talking about. Ah. You know,
Those
so.
boards sure are big. My goodness. I was like, that's a paddleboard. Huh? You have to-
Only one paddle? Which
Yeah.
I did think was,
One paddle? What are you going to do with two? It's not hooked.
I know, but the only experience I've had is,
The kayak?
well, that's
the
one
thing?
paddle. I don't know.
Anyway.
But is it have like a paddle on each end? Of the
No.
I was just one.
No, it's just a stick. With it.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
It was fun. It was fun. It was just like the whole time I was trying to get clear of the class. So like we got in and we were going over to a cove, and then the wind was pretty heavy. So by the time we got out to the cove, I was like, man, we better book it back because the wind was something to, go
One thing I
against.
thought was funny is that you're there and you guys just thought you could get your paddle boards and leave, but there was a class starting,
Yeah.
so there's a whole group of people.
Yeah.
And you guys are having to pretend like get on the paddle boards and pretend like you really know what you're doing because the instructor's right there. Like, oh yeah, this is just I do this every day. And it's like, gosh, this is almost boring.
This is almost boring.
So
Yeah.
routine.
We were both on our knees. Whatever.
Yeah.
Like just paddle.
And it was fun.
It was
And it was really easy, really. I mean,
Yeah,
it was
you just got to
fun.
get accustomed to it.
Yeah.
And get your
Now I
footing.
did fall off. I did bite it.
But only once.
You know,
You couldn't get back on, had to go back to shore, didn't you?
yeah, I had to go over to the
It's-
shore. I mean, it's a big.
It's
How
really
far
hard
away
to
is
get
the
back
shore,
on.
though?
It's a big wide.
Oh, we were in a cove, so it was just like you float like 10 feet and there was the
And
shore
by the
over there.
way, it was like quicksand. It wasn't just, I mean,
That
like I
sounds perfectly safe.
sunk up to my knee when I fell.
Oh.
Like,
Yeah, so, but you're alive. We're good.
I'm alive, but
We're
you
good.
did better luck next time, kid.
Yeah, I keep
But-
trying.
But this story is coming on the cusp of
Like,
Jackie repeatedly trying to kill my mother in nice,
I
fun
think
ways.
you're misconstruing
I've got it. Oh, I just
My
had a
ad-
heart thing.
my
Why'd you
adventures.
get on this ride? Is it scary? No. And then it slings. That's when the first time you met, or the second?
Yes, we've already been through that.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
not rehash that.
Okay,
Well,
all right, so let's talk
Makes
about your
me
painting.
mad.
People are here
Yeah.
for your painting.
Yeah, I wanna get painting, and hopefully the Facebook is streaming, guys. This is like our 5th time to try this, so we're streaming both on YouTube and Facebook. And if you're, and I'm hoping that the stream is actually going through.
It is. Oh,
So-
and I should say, because people are chiming in, which is
Oh, good.
awesome, because
Yes,
it's
awesome.
early in the show. So thank you for chiming in. If you're watching, just say hi, chat. You don't have to have anything to say, just start chatting.
Yeah, I don't have
But-
anything to say.
Just say hi.
Your brother's
So-
name was Andrew.
Yes, so Andy's
Hello,
online.
Andrew.
He says hi.
Oh,
Well, he
Andy.
says what's up? What's up?
Hey, Andy.
And hi, Wendell.
Wendell,
Joe.
Hey,
Linda
Wendell,
is
Joe.
online. Valerie is with us,
Oh,
and
awesome, guys.
Is
we've-
Donna?
Uncle Joe's with us. Old Unc,
Oh,
he's always the.
Uncle Joe, I gotta say, you have a fan following.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I think people come to the chat for him,
They
not
do,
for us.
They do. I know. It'd be better if Joe just showed up here.
Yeah, ooh, that's
That
a
would be
great
the best, That'd
idea.
be the best
Good
episode
idea.
ever, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Man.
Okay, let's do it.
I'm sure he's
That would
on the
be-
way
they
now.
do. It's like, oh, I've heard stories. I don't get to see. I don't get to see the chat or anything or hear the chat because I don't have my Bluetooth in. But I get to hear the stories after, like, oh, there's little titters and twitters, and when Uncle Joe comes into the chat room.
Yeah.
Just what the hunky unky.
Well, and Andy says
Hunky
Andy
Unky, Uncle Joe.
Andy says he's loving the man bun.
Oh, thank you. That was an accident. I mean, not
What
like I actually.
was it?
It's not like I tripped and fell down into a man vine like I tripped. Woke like, oh my goodness, what happened? But I was outside, our mailbox fell over and nobody hit it. It was just that it's so old. That
Yeah,
it
let's
finally just.
yeah,
fell
let's
over.
confirm that.
It was-
Nobody hit it. I didn't run into it.
Yeah, right.
It was up straight too. It was just like like that one little molecule of iron that was holding it up. Like went
Yeah.
away.
It was
I
real.
do pull up to your car quite
I
regularly, so
know.
I'm not.
I've already checked your paint for paint, your car for paint residue.
How did you do that?
No, I didn't, but I should have. No.
Good have.
But I was outside digging a big hole because we decided, we're going to get a giant mailbox pole in there, and apparently our front yard is made of rock and stone and metal. I don't know what it is, but it's like trying to dig.
It's
into
not
the road.
grass. It's not made of grass.
Yeah, it's definitely not made of grass.
So, okay, so let's talk about the painting.
All right. I wanted to do, we're in the Dallas area, and there's just been a lot of strife and a lot of stress and a lot of things going on. And I wanted to paint somebody that had hope and peace just in their heart. Just this. And I want to do several paintings, but I was thinking Dr. King, and I thought, I do want to do a painting of Martin Luther King.
I think
but
you
would
wanted
like
to do that one like in like a city setting. Like
I do.
you want to go out and do it.
I
So
do. I want
we
to
were
do
gonna
that
do
live.
we were gonna do a different show, but in like a city square doing it.
That's exactly right. I didn't have the right size canvas because I have an idea in mind, and I didn't have the right canvas. But I've also wanted to do a painting of Gandhi ever since Ben Kingsley played Gandhi, like in 82 or something like that? 84, 82?
I don't even know.
Gosh, it was a long
I
time
wasn't
ago.
born then. I have no idea.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Here's a news flash for y'all.
yes.
Andy's starting the vacation now.
Oh, I
He
bet
said-
he
He said
is.
he's waiting for y'all, and he's not. They're going to go away this weekend with
Cheers,
Andy.
Andy.
Yeah, we're going to Galveston, so.
So I guess I won't be
and-
keeping Jack after all because he's said he's going without you.
What? No, he started drinking.
Oh,
What's
I
going
see.
on?
See?
No. Which
Yeah.
cheers to that. Cheers.
Yeah. Cheerio.
Okay, so
So I had this, and I did a drawing. I wasn't even thinking about it when I did it. I drew it upside down. Whenever I'm drawing, I'm always spinning the canvas, but I tried not to spin it when I was drawing it. And the camera was in a weird, funky space because the studio's all weird. And I was using a GoPro, and I couldn't get the twist around, so I just drew it upside down. But so yeah, that's a little odd. And in the video, I want to show you the video that of the drawing. It's only like a minute. But it I don't know. I'm gonna have to get that a little better. I wasn't realizing, like, I had the camera kind of stutter a little bit, but then I slowed it down after, and so it sounded like a complete drawing. I wanted to show the entire drawing, but
it looked good though. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Because I went back to it in the edit. I loaded the footage into the computer. I was like, oh, it's only a minute. I thought, no, I was here for a lot longer than a minute. That's odd. Okay. Well.
Okay, so I don't know where the video is.
Oh, it's on the scene 1.
Okay.
It says drawing Gandhi.
Oh, okay, here we go. Ready?
Mm.
Get ready to dance.
Really? Really?
Yeah, really? Yes.
This is the dance
Okay,
portion of the show.
it's a black screen.
Uh-oh.
You
Is that
gotta,
why you need
gotta start the
dancing?
video. Right click the box. Just like you would a regular video.
I'm not.
Well, folks, it's time to kick it old school, so you can feel cool. Give it to me, baby. Baby. Yeah.
Ben King's the
King-
guy that
Kingsley.
played.
Yeah, they look
Gandhi.
extremely
Oh, yeah.
alike. They look
Gandhi looks just like Ben Kingsley. What is that? That's good they cast him in that movie.
I'm glad I came over here tonight.
What a quinky dink. Somebody should go back to
Okay.
1982.
I do want to say really quick is that to everybody out there that's watching, the close-up camera on the painting is got a hitch, so it may look frozen, and what we're having to do is like unplug and plug it in. So I will do that, and it'll just kind of update you. I mean, it'll kick in, but then you'll see what John's doing. But it's always something.
Yeah.
It's always
And that's-
something.
And that's again, it's back. I think it's back to the computer. The computer can't handle the video coming in, and we've lowered the resolution on it, and it only helps so much. It's yeah, it's
Here's
a
the
little
comment.
nutty.
Here's a comment on your dancing, John, I think. Valerie said, "Get down with your bad self." And Alex said, "What the hell?" And Wendell's dancing with his dogs.
Oh, nice.
And Donna has joined us.
Oh, hello,
Hey,
Donna.
Donna. So, whenever I was drawing, I don't know if y'all noticed, where this paint is. I messed up. I made a happy accident, as Bob Ross would say. Right over here, and I'm gonna white it out a bit more.
Well, hey, on the cameras, the one that's the close up of the
Mhm.
painting, is that this one on to the USB thing? It's the one connected to the USB.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Debbie
All right,
looks ready
it's-
for the
Am I?
beat.
it might actually update itself every so often.
You know what it is? It is.
Yes, I'm
Okay.
coming.
All right, so yeah, I mean, I went to the close-up shot, and you were just whiting out some of that
Yeah.
spot.
So I think on this camera, the computer's just freaking out, and I don't know. We're gonna have to get another computer or something, or if anybody knows of a special deal on a computer, or if
Yeah.
so.
So, what are you? What's the inspiration? What's the music going on? What's the colors? What are you doing?
Well, on this, I want it to be a very brightly colored sort of painting. I know most of my paintings are brightly colored, but there is going to be a lot of white in it. But because Gandhi just he had this, raw power. I definitely want some bright colors. So I know most of the time that people see pictures of Gandhi or they think about Gandhi, it's I don't know, it's more black and white. I don't know if that makes sense because I mean they made a color film about him, but I mean it's just I don't know. I mean like you think about him being this very serene, very mellow sort of guy,
Mm-hmm.
which he was, but he was also really happy and really I mean at times and funny and all this other stuff going on and a lot of passion.
Yeah.
And there's good things and bad things about him. I mean, like, especially like first time he was really in the women's rights and
That's a bad thing.
no, it was a good thing. But there's some people say, oh, maybe you didn't do enough, or you didn't do this.
Yeah.
I mean, you can pick anybody apart, but and then where he lived in India. He's a national hero, but it was at the time when Pakistan and India were breaking up. So, there's also a lot of people that detract from him as well
Yeah.
because you're like, oh, like he wasn't helping our cause. He wasn't doing enough of this or that, and so I mean, there's always something. So what I'm doing right now is I'm adding a little blue. If you're doing this at home, it could be whatever blue that you think.
Yeah, talk about like what you laid down first, like that liquid and stuff. Let me just reiterate that the camera is jumping like every maybe like 4 seconds. It'll jump to the like what you're doing.
I'm sorry about that, guys. Should we lower this down so while I'm painting?
I could, yeah, I could.
Do you think that'd be better?
Well, I mean a little bit. I'll lower it a tiny bit.
While you're doing that, John, Joe's saying that he did man bun, zombie music, hell's a poppin'. What's wrong with you?
Hell's a poppin'. Well.
And Donna, hello Donna, and
Is
Valerie.
it Donna Kay or is it
Yes,
Donna?
Donna Kay. Valerie's assuring, and Valerie's assuring Joe that the world's not coming to an end.
Hell's a poppin'. Well, what I put down and and give me an idea of the framing. Like, am I still in or?
Looks good now. I can see more of it.
Well,
Yeah,
you may just have to sacrifice a little bit
that looks good.
because when
Much better, isn't it?
yeah when he stands up his head gets cut off. But anyway, okay. So what? Yeah, just keep doing that the whole show. There you go. Okay, so what? I'm sorry. So you laid what was it? Water? What was it?
Yeah. I'm putting down water. What I'm doing is sort of a watercolor technique. The black that I put down is more has more of a tactile feel. It's not raised up very much. And this week, actually, in technique of the week, I want to show some of the things that I do to get around on canvas and to know what colors are being used and what's going on and all that sort of stuff because that's a really common question. So we're going to talk about that a little bit, but these black lines they feel a little bit different. They're a little more slick than the canvas underneath it. So I know what I want to do. So I'm going in and I'm just using some very light sort of strokes. And it's just water. So I'm adding, because the water feels very different than the dry canvas. I have a medium tooth canvas. The water with this high flow acrylic in it just makes it feel a little different.
What does
Almost
medium
like
tooth mean?
whenever you prep your canvas,
Uh-huh.
you can make it fine. Like I've prepped canvases before where they feel like paper. Where it's just so slick. It's just like you put a drop of water in it, boom, it'll roll right off. Other times where
Just rough.
Yeah, it's so rough. It's like burlap, So that's a really coarse. You can make it where like you have to use globs of paint because it's so rough. It just but it has a lot of tooth. That's what they call it. 'Cause it really wants to hold on to the paint. Most canvases, like if you go to an art supply store, Hobby Lobby, or whatever, you're gonna find a medium tooth, something a little bit in between, kind of slick, but.
And you can change it. Like what some artists will do is, well, like when back in the day when you used to, which you could actually speak to a little bit, is when you would prepare your own canvases, you would, originally you would staple them to the wall, and then you would paint them with just gesso, and then you would slowly you would sandpaper them until it was a super super smooth surface. I mean, it was like glass almost.
And that's what people did in general.
Well, John used to do some artists do that, but John, you were painting maybe it was the Perception series or something that you were doing, and you were and how does that help your art? What did you when you were using the super smooth surface? How does that affect the lines?
Well, that's something I was just sort of playing around with a little bit because I was just wondering. I wanted to be able to feel the lines better. So having it really slick, whenever I drew a line that had more of a tactile feel to it, it was really easy to tell because it was like something on painted glass. If you have even a small thing on painted glass, you can feel it because it's not smooth anymore.
Mm-hmm.
In a way that you can do that, if you ever want to get a canvas that's like that, the trick is you take the canvas and then you put some gesso on it. You get a really high grit sandpaper, and you get enough gesso on the sandpaper where it's just gesso on gesso, and you get a power sander, like a hand sander, and it's all clogged up with the gesso on the sandpaper, so it's just like a sheet of gesso. So you're gessoing on the gesso, and you can just get a high polish on that. Does that make sense, or is that?
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
So what I'm doing now is I'm just putting in some colors, and I'm putting in a pink in here, and I'm wondering.
So do you, before you go in and start,
Is that working?
I can't, I don't know. Well, it flickers, it's flickering. Oh wait, it's on.
Oh.
I was wondering if it shows the glowing.
Here, back it up a little bit. Okay. Maybe.
Mm.
Well, part of it is we can't see with the camera being all jacked.
Ah.
But so first you laid down blue and then you're adding red. Do you have to like predetermine what color? I know you do a lot of washes and tints and all that. I mean, I assume do you sort of do the figuring in your head of like what color you're laying down first because it's darker or lighter? Or?
Yeah. Now I'll listen to music too, and in my head I'll have a melody going. Most of the time here in the studio, you can tell by the sound stuff behind me. I usually have the music going as well. But so a lot of it is the way that something sounds, because you can get so much emotion from sound. But I'll work it out a little bit ahead. But on this one, it's a little bit, but I kind of know the feelings. I know the colors that I want to use.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of going in. And this is a nice way. Like I don't know exactly what this painting is going to look like, because I'm doing it live. And one of the things with a live painting, like if I'm in an event or something and I'm doing it, I get an idea of what colors I might want to use, but I don't really have an idea. Like this Gandhi, and I know I'm painting live, and it seems like it would be counterintuitive, like you want to do your best.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I want everybody to think I'm doing a great painting. I purposely didn't think too much about what the colors were going to be before I started this, because I wanted to be from this live show, from the experience, from the people chatting, and it's the same way, like if I'm in an event and I'm doing a painting for charity, I do the same thing. Like I'll get an idea, but I know what song I'm maybe using or the colors from that, but then I'll try to put it down, when I'm there.
Well, that's cool. Valerie chimed in and said purple is a good color for his crown and third eye chakra.
Ooh,
so
fancy.
Oh.
Good colors.
Yeah.
Where is the chat, Jake? I mean, I know it, but it's not.
So I'm just putting in some different colors. So in this, what I'm doing is I'm doing some washes of light colors, and it's sort of like the way that whenever you draw, you don't have to necessarily be the best illustrator in the world. With this, I have an idea of the colors that I want to use, but because I'm doing a really light wash, I can just go over and I can change them really easily. Having a light color, and it's going to give more of a glow to it. So the strategy that I'm using with this is that I'm doing some light washes, and I can go in, I can darken, I can lighten, but it lets me kind of live with it a little bit. You know, you get the color, then I can go back in and I can change it. It's just, you know, it's all kind of easy, because I want it to be a lighter. I want it to be a lighter. So, but in order to get lighter though, I'm gonna have to make it darker in a way, if that makes any sense. Like I want to get the color down.
Yeah.
And then I can go in. So I have some color up here. I can take a paper towel, handy dandy. And I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna spritz it. Just go in and lighten it just a little bit.
So I mean that's pretty like close to like that's like a watercolor technique.
Yeah.
So.
And that's the thing. There's no right or wrong with this. So I'm going in and I'm just lighting it. So it's very much a wash. And let me see.
Yeah, nice.
So it's just getting light. I wish this camera was
There's
working.
Ben.
It's every once in a while it's doing its thing.
Is it?
Every once in a while.
Okay.
So
let me lighten this a little bit more. So far, I've used these three colors. And this actually is an ultraviolet? Ultraviolet? Is that the right word? Fluorescent?
Fluorescent.
It's a bit of the ultraviolet. So I don't know. A little clockwork orange. And a blue, and this blue, shoot. I'm not parting it off. I think it's an ultramarine blue.
It looks blue.
Oh yeah, it's definitely blue, but you can use whatever kind of blue you want. And then I have a green. And this green, it's just a phthalo green, but you can use like deep green, sea green, grass green, whatever you want. I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of times, like I look into books and things, and it seems like people take a lot of time to think, oh, you need this particular shade of purple, you need this particular shade of yellow, and that's cool. I mean, if you're trying to recreate what somebody's doing completely, every artist I've ever met, everybody that's into art, that's trying to draw or do something, they usually want to do their own thing. I mean,
Well,
like, you know, they want to get an idea, but I mean, they also want to, you know, they want to come out with a cool, it's like if you're going to paint Gandhi, and let's say if you end up liking this painting when I'm done, you may think, oh, I want to do something like that, but you want it to be your own too. So, you know, make it your own color.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
definitely
well,
think
what I find interesting in which you might get asked a lot or what is, the one thing about your paintings is that you use crazy colors. They're super, super colorful.
Yeah,
But no matter what color you use, it's correct for the shading. Like it, you know, for example, you have that bison watercolor that's like that no bison is purple and pink, but you have it strategically in a spot. So like, how do you? I mean, is that constantly running? Is that constantly running in the back of your head? Like you've got, well, I know I want to do some wacky hot pink here, but it's got to be light hot pink or muted hot pink or.
Well, when you don't actually see it, I mean, doesn't that kind of free it up? I mean, where you can just,
burn
you know, go with your mind's eye.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's an interesting idea. Yeah, that's true. I mean,
so that's why I let you do it. I let you do it. I let you be the painter.
I'm kind of making some, like, I'm touching in places, so it's getting a little dirty around here. That's okay. Like I'm doing this painting a little quick because I think it needs to be, but you can go back in and create, like, I'm getting little fingerprints and stuff around it. That's okay. So
Jackie was asking, is that what's running through the back of your mind, or?
Yeah, it's it is quite a bit. One of the things though that really helps if you. Well, let me put it this way. Whenever I first started, I researched the masters quite a bit, and like, you know, Rembrandt, Vermeer, people like that go in and they had a certain way of painting, and the way that they would paint would be in grayscale or sort of a brown scale or in scale of one color. Whenever you do that, you're only working with one color, so you're just working with value, the lightness and darkness of something. And if you're only thinking about the lightness and darkness of something, you don't have to worry about color. Like color isn't really a problem. You know, you like color comes later. Like they would come in and they start doing washes and tints, and that's one reason why I use so many washes and tints, because the first way I started painting was the way that they painted, and because I thought, man, I want to paint, I want to do it this way, and I want it to look a certain way, and I want it to be great. I mean, as great as I can make it, obviously, and for every person that's interested in any kind of art. But the thing with this though is if you really get your lights and darks down, like what shading, where the light part should be. Is my head cut off?
Just the top of, just like.
So, so
just like from your
Okay,
forehead.
just
You're
like-
good.
I wasn't sure how much it was like my head. I was typing the thing. I'm trying to get this poignant moment. So, guys, it's like, where is it? What's he doing? Anyway, if you get down the lights and the darks though, of where the way something would be if it was just a black and white photo sort of thing, grayscale, then you can go in with any color after that and be able to make it lighter and darker, but still keep the tonal sort of quality to it.
Okay.
So does that make sense, or is that?
No, that makes sense. Yeah, Valerie said, if you have the right lights and darks in the right place, color just adds the fun.
Oh, there we go. We'll put.
Yes, and contrast does the work, which I think it helps that you have a, you're drawing down and it's, the black lines make for it to be very detailed.
Yeah, that's true. And then on this, what am I going to do? So I have this Easter egg effect, I guess you could call it, but it's like a watercolor sort of effect. And then over it, though, I'm going to put more of an opaque sort of paint. And so I'm going through and I'm just trying to think, what's going to work for this. And
So, speaking of Gandhi, I'll put a thing out there to the crowd. Does anybody meditate? And if so, what's like your process for doing it? I know for like some artists, the meditative process is actually doing the art, but I mean, some people might, have totally different, things. I know didn't you used to meditate quite a bit?
I meditate every night.
You met what? Oh.
Before I go to bed.
Oh.
And what's weird though,
So you passing out like in front of the TV is meditation?
Yeah. Exactly.
That's amazing.
It's a high heart.
Whenever he zones you out.
Oh, that's the meditation.
What's even more amazing is how consistently I've kept up with it.
Wow, you are good at that.
I know, right? No, I what's funny is I meditate every night before I go to bed. And
Before you go to bed or after you go to bed?
Well, after I go to bed. Like
when you're laying
when I
down.
lay in bed,
Okay.
I always say my prayers, and I
Right.
always meditate. And it's funny because if I don't, I'll wake up in the middle of the night and have to do it. Like I'll wake up like if I'm so tired, I'm like, then I'll wake up like, so something's wrong. Then
So
I have
whenever
to do
you
it.
meditate, what are you thinking?
Well, it depends.
Well, Andy chimed in and said he's meditating over this glass of bourbon he's drinking.
Oh, nice. Well,
Oh, he says
deep thoughts.
one of the hardest things to teach kids when painting is understanding how to layer tints, tones, and color. Adds tremendous depth to the painting. Bravo.
Oh, well, that'll do.
Bravo.
Especially after you've
How many
had
of the
some of
bourbons
that.
are
What's
you
he
into
drinking?
there? Bravo.
And Valerie said, Andrew, don't spill your glass.
Yeah, exactly.
Man.
Uncle Joe said he thought that we were talking about, thought I said medicate and he was about to sign up.
Medicating.
You medicate every night?
I can officially say I don't think I've ever really meditated. Ever.
Really?
I've tried.
I mean, I've had moments where I just have, I say to myself, deep breaths. But that's usually right before I'm about to like
bet
go
you
crazy
do.
on Jack.
I bet you do. I bet you do whenever you're running.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
like,
Okay,
when I'm
yeah.
exercising. I mean,
That's true. That's probably the only place is like you get in your zone.
Yeah, because you certainly don't want to be in the moment.
Yeah. You don't want to do that.
Whenever I started, it was way back like whenever I was taking karate and stuff, and then and there was a type of yoga where you would do certain forms, and some of those forms were the same as the forms that you would take in karate, but you would just hold the form. And that's kind of where I started, because you would just get in one form and you would hold it, like riding horse stance, and just stay in it for an hour or so. Like your muscles would start to cramp, they'd start to shake, and then you go through it. And then start doing it again, and then they go through it.
Yeah.
And then finally you just end into this little state where you're just sort of zoned out. And I need to do it more, but painting has really become that sort of thing for me.
Well, that's cool.
It's one thing with music. I'm sorry.
I know,
Like, I'll
that's-
turn up the music really loud because it helps drown stuff out, and then I'm in my own little spot.
If you meditate before you do anything, you really, I don't know, I think it clears your mind and you can really get into whatever I know years ago, whenever I did do yoga,
Mm-hmm.
I would meditate before.
Oh, that's, yeah.
You know, I
Okay,
mean,
okay.
you really, think about what you're going to do and just free your mind.
When you work out more than anybody I know,
Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
But don't say that. You're going to say, well, what does she do? Lift a glass?
No, you
you
gotta.
and Uncle Wilt went window. I can't talk. Apparently.
Well, I think he gets more out of it.
No, I mean, and, but I've always thought. I mean, like, even when I was a kid, like you did the Jane Fonda workout. I mean, wait on an LP, like on a record, even you,
Yeah,
like-
age me, John.
I mean, like you consistently worked out when people use records to listen to things.
I think that's a form of meditate. That's your
Yeah.
time for yourself, whatever you do.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Whether
I
it be
used
like
to.
candy and drink bourbon. I'm sure
Well,
he's meditating.
That's. Hey, I have
Whatever it takes.
I've boxed wine that is home away from home.
I like to meditate on the cubes. Stack them.
But John, whenever you meditate at night before you go to sleep, does your day go through your mind, or?
No, I usually don't. I usually try not to, because I'll get caught up on worry about stuff. Like I'll think like, oh, Jack, I hope I hope he's safe tomorrow. I hope things are good. And then I'll start to obsess on things a little bit. So it's my stop to not do that. To think, to understand what thoughts I'm having, because sometimes I'll worry about stuff. Like I'll, kind of like whenever we were in Colorado, and I had a dream about Jack getting eaten by a bear. I thought, it freaked me out a little bit. And Jackie, and then but then, like it's a time where you can settle down. You can think like, oh, it's a thought. It's not reality. It's just a thought, and it's not like a precognition about something that's going to happen. It's not anything. It's just a thought because of stress. You can start to understand where these thoughts are coming from, and that. I mean, I need to do it more. And like it's like everybody.
I think everybody could benefit.
Yeah.
Well, Wendell says he meditates, and obviously
Yeah.
he's a health nut for anybody out there that
Oh yeah, man.
doesn't know. He's hardcore trainer in New Orleans. Yeah, and he says he feels meditation is as close and please breath. I can't help me out there. Anything that takes me out of the narrative chatter of my mind into the present moment. For him, it's exercise, which yeah, I know. It's every time I go to New Orleans, I'm
Try to dodge him.
I don't try to dodge him. It just happens. Either a storm arrives or we have
Yeah.
plan. I mean, but
But there's a storm until your exercise class is over. But
Exactly.
I think everything's clearing up right after.
Sunny skies.
Yeah.
so last time we were out in New Orleans, we hung out with Wendell and went to the insectarium. I think that's how you say that. And which was a complete blast. I think probably me and Wendell had the most fun, and then Jack, and then John. But it was an absolute blast. They had a little cafeteria behind the typical cafeteria where you just go get French fries and hamburgers. Yeah, and they had another cafeteria behind that where it was all like bug items and stuff, and they had chocolate chip cricket cookies and salsa with worms and stuff like that. But Wendell and I actually ate the chocolate chip
Yeah, he
cricket,
said he
cricket
had
cookies.
some for you on the line.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Mhm.
I've tasted them. They actually just taste like chocolate chip cookies. So, protein. It's a good thing.
I think, it's pretty amazing you guys did that. And I have to say, I think it's even more amazing that I did. And the strength of character I had not to go with the crowd. Really
I think that's called chicken.
Chicken.
You and Jack, both of them were like,
Well, I'm so glad. To be honest, like I've eaten bugs before, and so I've kind of done that.
Accidentally.
Well, no, like a kid brought chocolate covered ants and grasshoppers. I didn't eat the grasshopper, but I ate the ants. The school, so I felt like I've done the bug thing, so I felt good on that. And then I thought, man, I don't really want to eat another bug. And and then Jack was like, ooh, I'm not eating that. I'm like, yeah, all right, I got somebody in my corner. Me and Jack, we're the cool kids.
Man, you guys are just like, that's
So,
funny.
Yeah, it's a thing. So, actually, I'm not gonna hold it up because it's a little wet. I just remembered a big watercolor. That's when the whole thing slides off. Ends up in the floor. But I'll show you in a minute. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you can see, it's just sort of a pale wash. Over here, his robes and stuff, I'm going to put white and stuff on there. But I'm going to start going in now and putting more opaque colors. So this would actually be a very interesting sort of painting to go in if you had a painting knife, to go in and put some heavy texture. I'm not going to do that because it's just not what I had in mind. But I do want to give it more of a painterly effect, be able to put in specific strokes and be able to start playing around with these colors a little bit. But I'm thinking I might ought to let it dry just a little bit because
What are you trying to say?
what time is it?
7:51.
Oh, maybe it's time to do something.
John, Ken, and Steph are on. I say
Are they really?
hi.
Oh, hey guys, how are y'all doing? I'm pausing like I said, how are you doing? I can't hear you.
And
None of your business.
That's what I do.
there's
with
a delay.
That's what I do with Echo too, because she's a really smart dog. But I'll say something to her, and I always pause, like I'm waiting for her to like, hey Echo, you doing okay? Like this is the time she's gonna actually like, oh, I could talk this entire time.
I am expecting that.
I know.
I wouldn't be surprised.
John, how long before you get the new dog? Will it be a year?
No, it would.
Did you meet your new dog?
No, no.
I think Joe was asking that.
Well, I don't even know for sure when exactly. I need to talk to you.
But you do know it's probably going to be golden retriever.
Probably. I don't even know. But most likely, most of the new ones coming out of Guide Dogs of Texas are yellow labs. So I'll play the yellow one, but probably next spring. But I need to talk to them.
Sandy?
Yeah.
Well, all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk to Sandy, and all of them there. They're the best. I know I've said this before, and it's not just because I'm partial. I've traveled around and I've talked to people at all the different guide dog schools, and they are by far the best anywhere. I mean, anywhere. England.
And I
anywhere
should
in America,
add,
for sure.
and I should add that on the website right now we have if you do purchase any art, and in the little discount code, if you put
You get a free dog.
yeah. No, those are slightly expensive, but if you put the word guide dogs, all one word, half of the proceeds go to the Guide Dogs of Texas School.
Oh,
And
awesome.
it's you get an extra like 5% off of your purchase
Really?
because
That's cool.
yeah, so again, if you go to the website and you're purchasing any art, put in guide dogs.
For how long
Is that one word or two?
It's all one word, guide dogs, and half of the proceeds go to the Guide Dogs of Texas, and you also get 5% off. So
And there's also 3 paintings where
there's 3 paintings still at the gallery available: Beats, Paris Poodle, and
Paris Poodle, yeah.
Dreams of Flight. So they're whimsical sort of paintings. Beats is a little bit harder, whimsy, but they're all like adorable and everything. So
They are.
go to the website bramblet.com if you're curious about any of that, or email bramblet@gmail.com.
John
So-
and Jackie gifted me the limited edition of the Paris Poodle.
Yeah.
One of 100. I'm so proud of it.
Oh,
Thank you.
I still haven't decided where I'm going to hang it. But so how long will
I'm gonna
this?
hang it on eBay.
That goes without saying.
Oh, that just fits the room so nicely.
I thought I'd do it while y'all were out of town, but maybe
Oh.
you wouldn't see it.
That's awfully considerate.
No, how long will this special be? How long will you be giving?
Well, the show actually ends sometime in September. So
Oh, it's while the duration of the show.
yeah,
You're-
and like
you're gonna be
90% of
doing
the art.
this special.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we brought 10 paintings, 9 sold or whatever. But there's 3 there now,
Yeah.
and so there's 14, I guess, all in total now. So
Yeah.
that were there for the.
So it's going on at least until September 30th 2016.
But the special that you're talking about, is it for any painting that anybody buys?
Well, it's for
during a
any
certain
it's for
period?
any print or limited edition.
Oh.
The paintings, because of the way our website's set up, people have to email about. But and if it's the 3 paintings at the current gallery show, then
Right.
yeah, the proceeds.
So it was the paintings associated with this show.
Mhm, mhm.
Okay. I thought it was any painting.
Yep. Gosh, I don't have a whole lot of paintings, and
Yeah. Yeah,
Which is a
that's-
good problem
that's
to have.
Most of the paintings, like the one behind me, like this one I just finished is gone. It's going to.
Now, what about this one of Jack on the bay, on the dog, on his box, the toy bits? Yeah, look, I always think he's sitting on a dog, but he's sitting on a toy box. That's so neat.
Oh, thank
Oh,
you.
yeah.
There's a children's story that I wrote about them that I haven't published yet.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Is that going to be the cover?
well, it's either the cover or one of the illustrations.
Oh, well, what's up with that? I forgot about that.
I got busy.
Well, that's what you ought to be meditating about at night.
Yeah, well, the book's written. I
Right.
want to go back and re-edit it. And
It is written?
Yeah,
Huh?
I've read, yeah, and it was one of Jack's favorite books. That like I'd read it to him,
Really?
and
How come I haven't read it?
oh, because I haven't released it. I haven't had a signing. I haven't had a.
Well,
But no, but actually, we're not gonna whenever it's ready though. I'm just gonna release it for free. It's just gonna be available to anybody. And one of the things with the book that I went through. I mean, just like the normal book, you know, like you get a publisher buys the book and all that with Shouting in the Dark. One of the things with that is that it was supposed to have been Braille. I mean, it was sort of like a no-brainer. Like, oh yeah, of course we're gonna Braille it, and then get books on tape
Right.
for it. And they still like it's in Chinese now, but it's not in Braille, which is odd.
that is odd.
So
I
so
wonder
this
why.
book.
Is it too expensive to do that
I
for
don't- I-
publishers?
You know, you know what? Honestly, what I think it is, it was a major press that bought it, but it was like Penguin or one of those. I can't
Yeah,
get
Penguin, I think.
Yeah, no, my brain with names, but they're like a group of all these different
I mean, it's a major publishing.
companies. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a major publishing house. So I mean,
Well,
just
What happened though was that it's Penguin, but it's like an umbrella of all these different publishing houses, and one of them under Penguin that took us under went sold to another publisher,
oh.
and the new publisher that came in, they're putting out new books, and they're not really looking at the old. They're like, we don't really know if we want to. I mean, it's just the interest. I mean, I don't know. It's odd. It's like, you know, we do what we do, and we're not really interested in what you guys.
In other
just-
words,
I don't know.
they're aiming towards the majority.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know what they're doing. They're really backwards. Like you think like you sell a book and all that they're really gonna promote it and things. That's
Well, I
what they
mean,
talked
they're
about.
geared-
I guess because their company went away,
They're geared
they lost
towards
interest or they couldn't. I don't know.
they're geared towards the sighted customer. You know, like everything in the world, really.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Yeah, but I mean it's weird though because I mean really like part of it was like whenever we were dealing with the people that own the company and they were part of Penguin, they were doing it. They're really behind it because they thought, oh, this is great. It's a market. And we
Right.
do this and you know it. So I mean they're really excited about it, but then as right as they were being taken over, you know, it's just like
you know, but I went with you to New York to meet the publisher. Wasn't that right?
yeah. Was that for that?
Well, no, that was
Was that a different publisher?
you didn't meet.
Publicists or
No, you're the editor on it, Lindsay Tate.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we were there. We weren't there specifically to meet her. We were there because you were giving a talk at the Met. We just happened to meet up with her because
Right,
she's
that's
based
right.
That's right. I
in
can't remember
New
either.
York.
I'm like,
I was saying
Yeah,
just
yeah.
for that reason, but we met her. But what I was going to say was they didn't really seem to publicize. You know, they didn't really.
Yeah,
get
it was.
out
It seemed a little.
You know, it was weird at the time, but in hindsight, though, it kind of makes sense. We're like, well, why? I mean, they bought the book, they paid us, you know, the whole advance and then all this sort of stuff. Why aren't they publicizing the book? And then find out later that that company was being taken over.
Oh, you're
and-
kind of lost in the waters.
Yeah, and the new people are putting out different kinds of books. So they're just like, yeah.
Well, John, this book, whenever you publish it, and you say you're just going to give it away, is it going to be for children, for blind children, or
Yeah,
are
yeah.
you
I
going to
wanted,
gear towards that?
yeah, I wanted a book that for if you're a blind parent, it's hard to find books that you can read with your kids sometimes.
Oh, that's good.
So, I wanted something that would that we could put on like an iPad or iPhone or Android, so that it can read it to you or it can be part of it. There might be animations and things that are interactive with it, but that's, I don't know anything about that. It's a little...
Well, is it about, is in the book, is Echo in the book, and it's about
Yes.
the CNI dog, John?
Yeah, it's about, really the whole book is that every character in the book has a, I won't call it a disability, but every character has something that they can't do.
Challenge or?
Yeah, but it's made them stronger. Like there's an elephant that's really tiny. It's like this tiny little elephant that rides around in Jack's pocket in the whole story. It's his best friend. There's a professor that you can't remember anything. And he's lost his marbles, and Jack and Echo have to go help him find them.
How nice.
And I can't even think of what else is in there.
There's a pirate.
Yeah, there's a pirate.
How long is this book? It's gone with the wind.
It's not that long at all.
Yeah, it's not that long. It's like a normal kind of kids book sort of.
Why don't
night
you
read.
do a series? That's cute.
Yeah, it could be fun, but and the whole idea was just to do something because Shine in the Dark was kind of heavy to write, and then let's just do something that's fun, and but the idea was to help try to make it one of the most adaptable books. So.
Well, hey, it is 8:01. I would like to do some art giveaway. You want to?
Oh.
Well, and the villagers are getting restless on the chat.
And I should say too. We've actually named the show now.
Oh yeah.
Drastic Art Measures.
It's the damn show. All right, so are we doing? You want me to do this?
Oh yes, and hopefully the resolution you can read the question on there. I'm not sure.
I hope. Let's.
I mean, you can read it, but I mean, hopefully when it goes to Facebook or YouTube, that people will be able to.
Oh, okay. Well, I usually say it out loud in case anybody can't, see in general. Okay.
Oh, and you guys don't know the answers, do you?
I probably do
I don't
because
know what
I
the
see all the
question
camera
is.
shots.
What's the question?
Well, here we go. All right, everybody. We're going to do some art giveaway. What this means... Well, you're still on camera, just so you know.
Sorry.
Okay, what we're going to do is I'm going to put a question out there from the duration that the question is up. If you can guess the right letter, the right answer, put the right letter in the chat. I will then put your name on this. It will go in this hat, and Debbie will pull it out. All right. Okay, so here is the question. Okay, Gandhi is called Mahatma, a Sanskrit word meaning high-souled or vulnerable. But by what other nickname was he called? A, Bapu, which means father or papa. B, Ahimsa, which is non-harming, considerate of oneself and others. C, Bhati. I just hope people can read this at this point, which is manifestation of the divine. Or D, Japa, which is muttering. Gandhi often muttered when he talked. Okay, so I'll read it again. I'm going to massacre all this. Sorry.
You sound good.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Thank
I
you.
forgot what the question
I know, we're like, what? Okay, so...
I go for hot mama.
Okay. All right, so Gandhi is called Mahatma, a Sanskrit word meaning high-souled or vulnerable. Is it vulnerable? Venerable?
Venerable.
Okay, I thought you just misspelled it. I was like, okay, venerable. But by what other nickname was he called? A, Bapu, father, which is father or papa. B, Ahimsa, non-harming, considerate of oneself and others. Or C, Bhati, which is manifestation of the divine. Or D, Japa, which is muttering. Gandhi often muttered when he talked. So right now, if you think you know the answer or you want to guess or whatever, put the letter in the chat. I will write your name down and then we will pull it from a hat. Okay? So I'm gonna.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, well.
Oh, I
go
was
and
going to
talk.
say all of those words are real words, and they actually mean what it says that they mean. And Gandhi was called a lot of different things, but this is one, like, he was called Mahatma a lot, so much that a lot of people think that's his first name, but it's more of a title, you know, just sort of a nice sort of, you know, but this other thing is also what they called him. So, and they called him a lot of different things, but this is the other, like, really big pet name that people who really liked him.
Okay, so yeah, and if you don't, I mean, you might as well just throw a letter in there. If you're not sure, go ahead and just toss a letter in because it doesn't hurt.
Yeah, 25% chance, and throw out whichever one you think, and it just seems crazy. You know, then you get, you know, your chances are even better. 33.
Oh, and Linda E just commented. She said, her screen froze, but she got her Cowboy Sunset print, which she was one of the previous winners, which she just got her print because we just got in town. So thank you for being so patient, Linda.
Yeah,
I believe everybody at this point if you won a free print, you have it. If not, please chime in or shoot an email to bramblet@gmail.com just to make sure, because I want to say I sent somebody just wrote in every letter. That doesn't count.
Hey, Ken, I agree with Ken. A, B, C, or D.
Nice try. That's not gonna do it.
I know which one I thought, and I think it was wrong.
Okay.
Well,
And Donna wrote in V. V is not one of the options, but
V for victory. Hey,
yeah,
hey,
that's not a knob.
Hey, before you give the answer, though,
Okay.
I want to hear what Mom thought. Do you know?
Well, I have to know. I have to write down the
seen it?
names. Yes,
Oh, you've already looked at it.
I have to know.
Well, I didn't. You didn't put it in there, so I wasn't sure if you.
Oh, I have to know for the people. For the people.
Oh, I know, but whenever
Right.
you put the answer.
Oh no, I don't know. I have no idea. No.
So what are you saying? No, I mean, do you know the answer to that?
I know it right. I know it now. I read it. I did not know it previously.
Oh, okay.
Well,
This is our marriage.
I know.
Okay, what do you think the
I've been
answer
there
is?
since inception.
Well, there was a time I didn't know it either. But
Well,
I was just wondering
yeah.
if you knew it
Well,
now.
I was wrong, so I don't want to say.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, well, it's kind
So-
of interesting because I tried to think things that.
You want to know what I thought?
Yeah,
All right.
I thought B.
All right, well, I'm showing the answer. Bam. A. Bapu. Father or Papa was the answer. We actually did not have that many people guess the right answer.
Are you sure that was it?
That's it.
Well, I hope it was it because John did that. So this
That
is what
is
we're
it.
going to do. We're going to pull all these out of a hat.
Very interesting that all the winners are family.
Well, they're not. They're not all family. They're not all family.
Nepotism.
I'm teasing.
I mean, there is one person in there that's not family. So
Exactly.
I'm mixing it up. You
It
can't
just
see.
shows that we have a smart family.
Well,
Or they know how to use Google.
or Jackie,
Yeah.
or Jackie does.
Well, I tried to pick something
Here.
that was a little harder to Google. Like I'm trying to get something that, like if you just put in Gandhi, and you could put in Bapu or
What are they
whatever.
getting?
Well, a medium-sized print, whatever they choose.
Well, isn't that weird?
Oh, how funny!
Well,
It's Valerie.
really?
Yeah, here. It was the one family member that did not get it right. Where is it? Right there.
Right there. So I said Jackie has a smart family.
That's hilarious. Well,
Sorry, Sam and Andy.
Sam and Andy, you guessed right, but
I
your
picked the
names
wrong
did not
one.
come out of the hat.
But
Your family, you know how it works.
Valerie.
So,
I looked out
and
for you.
and
whoever you are.
Andy changed his name to
Valerie?
Bhakti.
Oh, really?
He said conspiracy.
Was
so-
that after the third
Bhakti,
drink that he changed his name?
Probably. So, Valerie, you tune in every week, so you know the drill. But just in case, email bramblet@gmail.com what print you'd like. We'll send it to you. Medium, whatever. If I don't have it in stock, I will get it done and send it out to you.
Paris Poodle's
So-
my recommendation, though.
Yeah, it's a good one. That's a cute one. All
Just
right.
saying.
All right, so, bam. Art giveaway done.
Nice.
What? Tell us about what you got going on over there.
Well, I'm working on the background a little bit, and I'm just getting a little more colors here. I bet I can hold it up. Maybe this would work better. hello, Becca.
That looks good.
Ah.
It looks good. I mean, it looks light, but I assume you're
Yeah,
layering.
I am layering, but I do want to keep it a little light. It's one thing about Gandhi and everything. I mean, I don't know. Like, you have the center. Like, I want to. I don't want it to be an overly like heavy kind of painting. So I don't want to overdo
Yeah,
it.
an inner light.
Yeah, and I just don't want to overwork it like too much, you know. So I want it, but I don't want to underwork it either. So there's that. Well, so I'm wondering,
Yes.
so I'm gonna work on this. I'm gonna let it dry just for a moment, and I'm gonna work some more opaque paint in. So now I've got the tinting done. I'm starting to work a little opaque paint in, and I gotta do something with his glasses too, like right here. I want it, but I'm not sure exactly.
Okay.
One of those things.
What are you trying to say?
Might be a good time for art news while this dries a little bit.
Oh yeah, I want to hear
Drastic
this.
art measures, art news.
Okay. Well, I should say really quick. Well, Andy said congrats, Val. But and Uncle tried to answer slightly late, so sorry, Uncle.
Oh.
Oh.
You tried to answer after the intro?
Yeah.
I think it might be A.
I'm pretty sure it's A. So.
What about it?
Okay, so you're in a drying stage, so let's do art news, people. All right, so I have three things to talk about today.
Val. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Val said I hooked her up. Yes, Val, I did.
Oh, nice. So I have three things to talk about. It may or may not be news, but it came across my Facebook feed or what I was listening to or whatever, so I thought it was interesting. So we're gonna go over that. But first I wanted to talk about, and some of you out there might know that this exists. I didn't know it existed till this week. I thought it was super cool. Was that Walt Disney and Salvador Dali worked together back in 1945 to create a short film of a sort of haunting Fantasia concept. Let me show you some images from it. I would show you guys the video, but I'm afraid that it would get dinged and we would probably get kicked off the air because of the music and all of that. The film is called Destino, and it's I think it was finished in 2003. But it was a collaboration between Walt Disney and Salvador Dali. And if you go out there, what I'll do is I'll put the link to the video in the description, and you guys can check it out. But it is beautiful. It's haunting and everything. It is the film tells the story of Kronos, the personification of time, and the inability to realize his desire to love for a mortal. So it's funny because it's like you look at these images, like right now on the screen you're seeing one that's like these eyeballs, and they're grasping onto what looks like this well, it is a female figure, but grasping onto her, and it has a Disney feel, especially if you see like the female figure in it. But it's all these weird things going in, and then and then you see the classic Dali imagery that's going on mixed with Disney.
Good grief.
It's really cool. It is really, really cool. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And this is sort of this image that you guys are seeing right here. This is an image of Kronos before he kind of breaks free of the stone, because it's dealing with time and all of that. It blends a series of surreal paintings of Dali and dancing, different things like that. And again, it wasn't completed until just recently. So if you watch it, you can kind of see what's classic Dali and now kind of what they've emphasized as Disney. But if you watch it, if you guys go and watch it, it's like a sophisticated, haunting Fantasia. So it's absolutely beautiful.
Disney does erotica.
Why you always gotta make it dirty?
You said erotica dirty.
Whatever, man. All right. So there's that. So that was really cool. And I that came across my Facebook feed from a former roller derby teammate, Shelby. So thanks for putting that out there. It was super interesting. The other thing that I thought was kind of hilarious, and I this is more recent, is an elderly woman accidentally was going through. She was going through a gallery. Let me see if I can find it really fast.
She was accidentally
Accidentally going through a gallery. Yeah. It's a. Anyway, so there's this piece from Arthur Kopeke, which I'm probably massacring. The piece that you guys are looking at, it's called Reading Work Piece, and it includes the words, insert words on this. It's sort of it's a modern, well, it's modern, I should say, but an elderly woman was going through the gallery and I guess misunderstood it and filled out the crossword puzzle as if she was actually playing because it says insert words. So she wrote in, I guess she answered one of the questions and wrote in wall. Yeah, we heard about it on NPR when we were coming back from San Antonio or something.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it's just funny. I mean, it's not funny, but funny. These galleries have plenty of insurance. This piece was worth 80,000 euros, which is 89,000 here. But and they didn't. They filed it with insurance and police and all that, but only so that they could. They reported it only so they could file the insurance because they realized that it wasn't out of malice. She just didn't understand what she was looking at, which I think is kind of funny about modern this sort of modern art, and it's similar to a story that happened a year ago where there was a modern art installation, which I'm a huge installation artist fan. I love installation art. But the piece was called "Where Are We Going to Dance Tonight?" And you walked into the art, which actually I have an image of it. Let me show you guys. You walked into the room and it looks like an epic rage went down, and it's a mess. There's champagne bottles everywhere. But the cleaning crew that came in after the reception for the gallery showing cleaned this up as if it was the party. So this huge art piece, this art installation, got tossed out because it looked like trash. It looked like the aftermath of a party, which I think is bittersweet to an installation piece. I mean, that's kind of the conclusion, right? That's where you're taking it. So
art imitates life.
yeah, I think it's hilarious.
It was a success.
It was a success. It got the point across. Exactly. So anyway, I thought that was really interesting.
Yes.
And then lastly, which I thought was fitting for tonight, is tonight, if you are tuning into this show currently, then you are unfortunately missing the Olympics opening ceremony.
Don't tell people that.
I know. Well, this is why.
Everybody just left.
I know, right? This is why I waited till now to do it, because I didn't even mention the Olympics because it's happening right now. And so, but back in the day, art used to be an Olympic event.
Really?
You could get a gold medal for doing art. Did you know this?
I did.
Oh, you're a dork. How did you know this?
Oh, because it's my dream.
They're not bringing it back, honey.
Well, they might.
They're not going to bring it back.
But that's back when they used to do the Olympics in the nude. When they first did the Olympics, it was all men. They were all
No. Okay, this is how I have it.
Oh.
Is that not until 1912 was art considered in the Olympics. Okay, so so the one dude that won it, his name was Walter Winans. I mean, multiple people won it, but
he nude?
No.
I thought he was nude.
No, the guy that started the Olympics, this Baron Pierre de Coubertin or whatever, he was head of the IOC, which is the International Olympic Committee, I believe. In 1865, 1896, when the Olympics were, getting off the ground with this committee, I guess, he believed that art should be a part of the sports. So that it was a tough road at first. Nobody agreed with this, and then in 1912 they decided to let this happen. The problem was that, well, art is pretty subjective, so there's no true way to measure it like sports with times and distance and all of that. The other issue with art in the Olympics apparently was that you could only paint sports. Like you could only do art of sports, not paint. I shouldn't say that. You could only do art of sports, and you had to be an amateur artist. So people like of the time, people of the time like Pablo Picasso, Frida, all that, they couldn't do it because they were professional artists, and so it became mundane because it was like sport painting after sport painting, and it was all amateur artists and all that, and so it lost its interest. But Walter Winans he was one of the few people that actually, he's like the only person actually that has won both an Olympic medal in sport at the Olympics and art.
Wow.
So in 1912 he won a silver for Team USA in a shooting event. It was called Team Running Deer Single Shot. And then he won a gold in sculpture for his work, An American Trotter, which is on the screen right now, which is what you're looking at. So it's a bit of trivia if you want to stump your friends.
Cool.
Is it a painting or a sculpture? Or?
It's a sculpture. It's a bronze sculpture, and it. So, So ode to Olympics.
That's cool.
Apparently it used to be an Olympic sport. So that's art news, everybody. Thanks.
Very nice.
Well, awesome, man. Thanks so much for sharing. That's cool. It makes me wonder, like, if for every country that's participating in the Olympics, we all seem to...
Sorry.
It's art news again.
It's art news again. Sorry.
It'd be interesting if every country that was participating in the Olympics, if they would select an artist like to go and paint and capture the Olympics, like
Yeah, that would be cool.
They don't.
I'm not officially. Almost like how you have a poet
laureate. Yes.
It'd be nice if every country also sent an artist.
Who is the poet laureate now? It's not that.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Reading? I don't know.
I just looked it up the other day. And...
Is that with Maya? Is that Maya? Or?
No, she's Maya.
No,
Angelo.
Yeah.
And she's passed away.
Yeah, but I'm saying she was the last one that I know of. Wasn't she? I mean, wasn't she the last one before this one?
I don't know. I think they get one every.
I know it.
I don't think she was the last one.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know.
So on the chat, I've been trying to catch up with.
Maybe.
I've been trying to catch up with the chat really fast. Valerie said a good friend of hers in Flagstaff is a direct descendant of Dali's. That's really cool. That's kind of crazy.
Man or woman, and either way, does he or she have that mustache?
What?
Of Dali?
Dali?
What?
Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I was like totally.
Valerie's niece.
Salvador Dali. Dali had that.
That's really cool. That would be that.
I
I don't know. Maybe she'll let us know. Hopefully, they don't have a mustache if it is a woman.
Well, I don't know. It'd be very striking. You know, I'm not related to Salvador Dali. Yeah, I can kind of see the resemblance there.
The mustache.
That's funny. Yeah, I should say on the chat, people are commenting on the sculpture a little bit because, which I thought was kind of funny too. The man that's riding the horse is really close to the behind of the horse, and they're not like doing any sort of chariot style thing. It's right. I actually thought it was a depiction of the artist carving the horse. I don't know. Anyway, people on the chat are contemplating what.
I am so glad to hear Unc and Andy say they said a little too close to the horse to suit me. And Andy just noticed that too. I noticed it before y'all did, I think, but I didn't say anything. I did. I thought,
lady like to mention
I did say that's an awfully big horse.
That's an awfully big horse. That's your name. So Valerie said no mustache, but she has his eyes and eyebrows.
Oh, wow, nice.
Oh. Is that a good thing, Valerie?
Oh, it's a he. So he could go after the mustache. If he
No, she has
Oh,
his,
she.
his
She
eye-
has his
eyebrows. And,
Oh.
So yeah, let's not do the mustache.
Yeah, that's probably a good choice.
Yeah.
Although it'd make a good Halloween.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, man.
That is neat.
So what are you doing now? It looks like you're doing some stuff to that.
I am doing some things. Some things are happening. What I'm doing now, I'm going through and I'm using some complementary colors to emphasize a few of the colors that I really want people to notice. And that's a technique that you can use. Like if you really want a red to pop out, you can put a little bit of green next to it. And you may see the green a little, but you'll really notice that red, or vice versa. Or, you know. So I'm doing that, and I'm putting a few opaque colors. I've worked on the background a little bit with some yellows and white, and a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of pink. I'm a big fan of pink. I don't know, I use pink quite a bit, but just a shade, just a little bit. So I'm just trying to get more of a tonal kind of quality, but I don't want to make them dark though. That's the thing. I
Yeah.
want them to be really bright colors, and that's a challenge. Like if you want a brightly colored painting, it's real easy to muddy it, get them all mixed together and brown or just dull. And I don't want it to be dull. I want it to be bright.
Yeah.
And I know I've talked about that. Like, I think in the last stream we talked about that. One way you can do that is by keeping the colors kind of pure, by using tints and glazes instead of a lot of opaque color, and also by having white and black in there. Because then you have this dramatic.
So is there any way to if you've laid down layer and layer and layer and tints, glazes, and this and that, and you you put down a color that you don't like, is there any way to counter that?
Oh yeah. You can go back in. You can white it out.
Wait, but then you have to go in and do all your layers again,
Layer
right?
again.
Yeah, you do. So don't mess up. And no, but you really can though. I mean, you can go back in and you can take that out. You can also lighten it. So instead of going completely light, you know, like you can just put a little white maybe with a glaze. So you can make a more opaque glaze.
Yeah.
You know, so most glazes are pretty transparent, but you can adding a tiny bit of white to it can increase the opacity of it.
Mm-hmm.
So you can glaze over it and take it somewhat out, and then be able to put other colors on that, and it makes the mistake a little less.
Yeah.
Kind of like up here on this top of his head, I'm not really digging that really harsh.
The blue?
Yeah, the blue.
I
like
dig
it.
the blue. I like the blue.
Oh, I like it.
I mean, so is this painting gonna get darker?
A little
I mean, is there
bit.
gonna be? I mean, it just looks a little light, and
You could.
it looks like it looks like the fourth layer of a bunch of layered painting. Does that make sense?
It's like the fourth
I'm the worst.
You could mod him up and give him a headband.
Ooh,
Different colors.
there you go, hipster Gandhi.
If I give him braids and a headband, it can make him like a Willy Gandhi.
Yeah,
There you go.
Gandhi.
Gandhi with a win. Frankly, my name. What was the question? Oh my God.
What are you getting? So you don't like that blue? Is that what you're
Still
Yeah,
talking
I
talking
do. I
about
think
that
I'm gonna leave
horse.
it. I'm gonna add. What am I gonna do with it though to mitigate it? So I like the blue. But I can add a little bit of this golden up here. Just to
So
change it a tiny bit.
Valerie says he needs a big what?
glove. Okay,
She
every-
said glove.
Everybody on the chat is still talking about the horse. For anybody that's tuning in, I feel like I should go back to the horse for a
I
second.
agree with everybody on that horse. He's
Yeah, it was
too-
a bit ridiculous. Here, let's go back to the horse.
The
Remember,
rider is
he's
too
an amateur
small.
artist. So,
The rider's too small.
be kind.
No, wait. Let me go.
He was. Andy noticed
Oh
that,
my gosh,
too.
hold on. Okay, I'm going back to the horse since it's a hot topic.
You want a medal for it?
Oh. What is he doing?
That's what I meant. He's giving him a prostate exam.
I think he's
Story behind
maybe
that.
he's braiding his tail. I
Maybe
don't
he's
know.
breeding his tail.
Braiding his tail. Oh my gosh, I don't know. So yeah, Valerie said he needs a big glove.
Trying to see if it's a male or female.
Well, that you shouldn't have to get that close to figure this out.
Well,
Anyway, okay. Yeah, back to John.
Well, Okay, I'm gonna work on this a little bit, and I'm thinking I should do a technique of the week here in a little bit. It's like,
Oh yeah. Okay, you want to do that? You ready?
Nope.
Because I still have to announce the MFA of the week.
yeah.
Is that horse smiling? Valerie wants to know.
Valerie just asked if the horse is smiling.
Let's hope
Probably-
the man isn't. I don't see how the man could be.
Yikes. Okay, do you want me to do technique of the week? Is that what's going
Not right.
Okay.
Give me one, man. I'm
You're in the
getting
thick-
painty, guys.
All right.
Don't rush me.
Andy and I think it like that scary. I said, I'm sure the rider's not. That's what Andy said.
Ooh,
Okay.
it's a dirty job.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Glad he has to do it. Valerie likes your yellow and white, John, to bring it back to the painting.
Well, thank you, Valerie.
Away
Mom.
from the horse's ass.
Well, I do what I can.
Very good.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a hard competition or not, but anyway, that's better than a horse's butt. Thank you. Well, this week for the technique of the week is a little different.
Have you done that?
Not yet.
Don't jump.
I'm waiting
the
for
gun.
John's signal.
Oh yeah, I just want to do this because I want to do technique of the week in a minute, to give this a chance to dry a little bit, so that I can go back and do the final washes and get actually finish a painting during my live show. Wouldn't that be something?
Okay. So while you're doing that, Samantha chimed in, which is Andy's wife, I should say, and my sister-in-law, chimed in and said it is a depiction of horse cart racing, and it's actually a pretty accurate pic. Which,
Well, Samantha, you're giving us a
yeah,
Well, that's cool. The yeah, those,
schooling
I don't know if that's a good. I
they
don't
have
think
these
I'd want to
weird
be in.
carts. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's right up on the horse's butt,
Those,
man. I don't know.
those carts are right there,
I
man.
don't think
They
that's
have these
safe.
really light carts, so it's like a bicycle.
I don't.
But I
Almost.
still think he's awfully small in
Well, you
comparison
know what?
to that horse.
You know what though?
Maybe the horse
The
is.
Summer Olympics just started,
Ugh.
and you'll get a chance to verify it.
They
and
don't
see.
have that sport.
Surely they don't
They
have
don't have that
that.
anymore.
I mean, horse racing with carts that look like from the 19.
They have like horse riding where
Well,
you shoot things. Surely.
I don't
They
know.
have horse
It's
riding
no
with
curling.
shoot
It's no curling, but maybe.
Oh.
it's still-
You know what? Maybe just for you, they'll get a guy on the track with a broom to try to clean the.
That's what they need.
I don't know. I'm just talking.
If I was that close to the horse,
All right,
Okay. What are we doing?
let's do a technique.
All right, let's see if I can do this.
Technique of the week.
Mhm.
And thanks always to Jack for bringing the voice of the technique of the week. The technique of the week, boys. The technique this
There's
week
your
is a little bit. It's different than what I normally do. This isn't like a painting technique. This is sort of. It is painting techniques. That's what I use to be able to paint. But I get a lot of questions about how do you get around the canvas? How do you how do you get around the studio? How do you get around in anywhere? And the same techniques that I use to be able to do that is the same techniques that I use for a canvas, and just to be able to understand about the way things are. And whenever my eyesight was going, I didn't understand a thing about what it was like to be visually impaired. I had no idea. And the only thing that I knew was from TV and movies. And that's a horrible place to get your information. It's just crazy. In fact, I've got a slideshow if you want to try to start it over there.
Uh-huh.
Now, and let me know the first
my
one. Are we on the
God.
first one?
Okay, wait. All right, blind eyes.
Blind eyes. Well, that's one of the things. So if you're watching a TV show or a movie, and it's gotten slightly better and then slightly not better, slightly better over the last 30, 40 years. But one way that you know that a person is visually impaired is that they have blind eyes. You know, they have eyes that are gone, or they're like they put these lenses in. The next slide. Master Po was one of the guys you knew, and he had these eyes that actually would almost glow. Like,
Wait,
you know,
Master Po, was he from?
Kung Fu.
Oh. Okay.
David Carradine on that.
How do you
And
think they made his eyes glow?
It was contact. They
Contacts,
just put
wasn't it?
contacts on people.
Hey,
They're
Oh, so
they're like
that's
these-
just light reflecting off of them?
Yeah, it's just light hitting these.
That's cool,
contacts.
man. We need to get some of those.
Yeah,
I know it'd be cool, right? But that's what you think though. And then I've had so many children in schools and stuff say, "Oh, let me see your eyes. Let me see your eyes," because they're expecting like some shiny Master Po thing going on, and there's no Master Po. And the reason what that is, a lot of people lose their eyesight later on in life because of cataracts, and they will get cloudy and they'll get this opaque sort of looking thing. But that's just one way out of hundreds, if not thousands, of ways to lose your eyesight. There's so many different things. So if you did lose your eyesight that way, you would have a kind of an opaque. I don't know if they glow like Mr. Poe. Can you show
Well,
the
I
next
don't.
one?
I don't think they would.
This next one I think is Bob Hoskins. He passed
Yeah.
away a few years ago.
Did he? Aw.
But one of the things about him though, what he's doing here is the way that most actors portray blindness, and where the way you're blind is you look off. You look off. That's it. Can you show the next one?
Mm-hmm.
Fonzarelli, he's so cool. So cool.
I remember this episode.
Dude, this is an
he
episode
died?
where I remember it too. It's one thing I was going through, I was listening to descriptions of pictures. I thought, I remember this because the whole episode, Fonz stared like it one like spot on the wall or something the entire episode. Can you go to the next one?
Was he depicting being blind?
Yeah, he lost his eyesight in
Oh, he
that
really
episode
did?
for a little bit. And then
Oh,
and the next
wow.
one, Richie, because like Fonz was like, I give up, I can't do it. And Richie's like,
Oh,
you're not
yeah.
gonna give up, man.
You're
You're not
not-
gonna do it. So him and Potsy and Ralph the Mouth, they went and took his motorcycle all apart and put it in a bag, and they carried it up. They lived over the garage, and they dumped it on the floor. And even though they're dumping it on the floor and it's loud and crazy, Fonz is still staring off in his face like, where are you, Richie? I don't even know.
I can't even hear.
Yeah, it's like, oh, so. But in TV land, that's the way that a person is visually impaired. And can you show the next one? And also the way that you get around is like Frankenstein walking. And your arms are out and you're stiff and you're going. And that's the way that people kind of expect. And you can show the last one. Just another Frankenstein. But that's the way that people expect for people who are visually impaired. And you can get rid of the slideshow if you want. We don't need that anymore. But even like Doris Day, she won an Oscar for portraying Helen
Oh
Keller.
yeah, well, not Helen Keller. It was Wait Until Dark.
Well, she when she was a little kid, she played Helen Keller.
Patty Duke,
And
huh?
Patty Duke, that's it, that's right. What did I say, Doris Day?
Yes.
Yes, Doris Day did somebody else too, didn't
She
they?
played a Dial In for Murder or something like that, where she played and
Yeah.
Audrey Hepburn played Wait Until Dark.
Yeah, well, Patty Duke.
Yeah,
And she
Patty
did
Duke.
her whole thing about being blind now was there's a lot of that.
It's absurd.
She was kind of out there too, though.
Well, yeah, it was crazy, but that's the way he did it. That's the
Well,
way.
she
So,
was deaf and blind.
yeah, but nobody, I bet, that are deaf and blind. That's like, would you like a drink of water? Or you know, like, oh, wait, I'm old
But
enough
she
to.
couldn't hear.
I've met a lot of people that can't hear, and they can't
Oh.
see, and then I'm mad like that. But that's just the way it is. Though. And it's funny with other types of disabilities too. Like even in Avatar, the paraplegic Sam Worthington, the actor, he played a paraplegic, and he would have a lot of trouble getting from the bed into a wheelchair. And other paraplegics were like the actual paraplegics saying like you don't have that much trouble. That's like you're really overacting for
Well,
that.
you kinda
But that's
have
what people
to.
expect.
Yeah.
In the Dollhouse, like an episode of the Dollhouse, there was a blind person in the show, and they actually had a visually impaired person come in to show the actor how to do it. But it was unbelievable because the person moved too well. So it was just sort of like, oh, that's like that person's able to get around, they're able to do things. That's not no one's gonna.
Do you
buy
remember that movie Patch of Blue with Sidney Poitier?
it. Never saw it.
Oh wow, that's good. Wasn't it?
What, was he blind in that?
It was a blind girl, and that was really
It's called Patch of Blue.
Patch of Blue.
Oh, I'll look
That's
that up.
weird.
That sounds
Yeah.
cool.
It is.
But it's weird though because like you just get there's these ideas like Jack though. We went to New Orleans and to do a workshop with some visually impaired children. All the kids, every kid in the workshop is blind. And it's the lighthouse for the blind. Every kid's blind. And Jack's running around. They're throwing balls. They have these giant balls they're bouncing on. They have these
Did
giant
a tether ball like
tether ball. They're
pole.
hitting. They're throwing these balls. They're running around the room and running. Every kid in there, and it was probably like 15 kids
Oh yeah.
at least, and they're all running, doing crazy stuff. I mean, these giant things they had to play with, like these. And the only sighted kid there was Jack. And and Jack's playing with them. He's throwing balls. They're all like going. I mean, and it's crazy. Like, if you're used to seeing TV or movies, whenever you see actual visually impaired people now it's different, and it's changed quite a bit in the last 10 years or so, and it's changing a lot more. But there's so many different things. Anyway, I just want to talk about the techniques really quickly. I know I'm belaboring it, but it's something that I don't know. I think there's been so much TV and movies out there. We can take a little time, but one of the things that I learned whenever I started learning orientation and mobility was that we actually live in a kind of a 2D world. It's like a Pac-Man world. And I know everything is 3D, but like if I want to get to the door, even though this is a 3D world, the route I'm going to take might as well be 2D. If there's something in my way, it's like a wall, like in the Pac-Man maze. So nope, well, can't go that way, can't go this way. So it's just a 2D sort of world. I'm finding all the little routes along the floor that are completely debris free.
Good luck.
Yeah,
Yeah, in this studio, good luck.
Yeah, but I mean, so it just simplifies things a little bit, and you learn different techniques. So one of the things is that you start learning not how to move like a gymnast, but kind of like a gymnast. Where if a person fell off like if they're doing a tumble, if you're a gymnast, you learn how to jump, you learn how to fall, you learn how to do these things. If a normal person, not normal, but a person hasn't been trained, tried to do a tumble or a somersault and fell, like off the horse or one of those leaping things, oh my goodness, they would break their back or a leg or something. The gymnasts do it all the time. They'll do it, time after time after time, because you learn how. And it's the same way. Once you're getting around a room, you can feel around with your feet, you can feel around with your hands, you learn how to trail things. And honestly, like around a painting, I use raised lines and braille on the paints and stuff. And that's actually kind of easy. Like in a kitchen, you learn how to touch things that are hot, how to chop with things that are sharp, how to sew on buttons, on your shirt if you need, with needles and things. You learn how to deal with things that are going to hurt you. This stuff is kind of easy compared to that. I've never hurt myself with any of that. Also, people that are sighted, they don't realize how much sound they make. I hear you. Like I hear sighted people. I want to say it almost like that. I smell dead people or whatever. That show, I see dead people. No, but it's incredible how much, like my son Jack is constantly trying to sneak up on me.
He tries to sneak up on me. It drives me nuts.
Yeah, but it's like
He does
think,
it to me.
I'm being sneaky, he's sneaking, he's tiptoeing, clomp, 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 and he's like, no, I'm doing the tiptoe dance, so I got to be quiet. Clomp, clomp. It's funny, you hear people. You start remembering where you put your things. Like whenever I was sighted, I would throw my keys, and I did that for a few times when the sight was going. Then you spend an hour looking for them. You start getting little tricks. There's a ton of little things you learn and O&M about. And there's little things that I used to do, like you remember angles, you remember feet. Like I would count like, it's 10 steps here.
Oh yeah, I remember that count.
Yeah, and not every O&M specialist does that, which is another point that I have, that just because somebody's visually impaired, it doesn't mean they got the same care or the same techniques or the same. Like I was super lucky. I was crazy lucky because I was a student at the University of North Texas, and I was not only in a country and in a state that had people to go out and help with that sort of thing, but I was at a university that had their own people that actually cared and were really proactive about that sort of stuff. So I had a ton of help. So everything that was new, because I was at a university, all these people that were studying O&M, orientation and mobility techniques, cutting edge stuff, all that, and the technology and stuff that was out. One thing that I learned too pretty quickly being in a college campus, just guess, fake it. Just fake it till you make it. Like if you think somebody's over there trying to get your attention, and you think somebody's over here doing something, you say, hey. And if you're wrong, nobody cares. It's funny, if you're the blind guy and you're wrong, nobody remembers that. They only remember when you're right. They only remember when you go, how'd you know that? And like, what can I say? But you just kind of roll with it. Like if you're walking and you know that there's a crowd and you've got your stick, you got your cane or something, and you hear somebody go through it, there must be an opening. You try to go where they went. Maybe you'll hit it, maybe you won't. But if you hit it, that's great. You just guess and you go with it. The worst that's going to happen is that you're just going to run into something. And you learn, just like a gymnast, how to do that without hurting yourself. You got your arms out, you got your legs out. So you're not really risking that much. One of the things too, if somebody's newly blind, practice O&M like it's your new religion. Just your O&M. I used to do cane training at night, like just over and over, just late at night, nobody's out, it's dark, walk for hours and
When
hours
you used
and
to
hours.
go,
every
they
night.
took you to downtown Dallas.
Oh yeah, but I mean just on your own.
Oh,
Yeah. So I mean just every night, just going. And painting helps. It helps a lot. Every skill that you need to know how to get around, you've got that right here on your canvas. The ability to find your way around a canvas translates exactly into finding your way around a city,
Mm.
or a room or something. And it's funny, children that start painting, visually impaired children now, in a week or two, their ability to get around, to remember where something is, to know, remember like, oh, well, like I handed this person this thing, they have that, they have these two colors, or I ate dinner here and I've got this over there. The kids' ability to remember all that explodes in just a couple of weeks. It's
with
ridiculous.
confidence.
And their parents, their teachers go crazy because they're not expecting it, but it's amazing how quickly your brain can latch on to certain things.
So let's put a twist on this. And if you are sighted, because I think a majority of our watchers are sighted, how can you, I mean, all these things that you're saying embrace, how, as a visual possible artist, like, how can that further your art or your experience in life? I mean, like, is there...
If you're a sighted person, how can it further?
No, I mean, like for example, if you're a sighted visual artist, like you've said before, like instead of just looking at an apple, you go up and you feel it, different things like that. Like, so, I mean, you've got to realize that, I mean, you've got to like take in the other senses.
That's a good
feel
point.
the apple.
I
mean,
that's one of the things that I learned is that sight is just one way of getting information, and your brain is like a computer. So if you think of a computer being hooked up to a monitor, to a mouse, to a keyboard, to a printer, to the internet, to all these different things, there's lots of different applications that the computer can use. Now, if you have your speakers and you got a monitor, well, if you're listening to audiobooks and your monitor goes out, you can still listen to those audiobooks. That's just one thing the computer has. So your brain, you have all of your senses. That's the way that you learn everything. If you lose a certain sense, you can keep using those other senses. And the great thing, though, is that everybody can do that, whether or not you lose that sense or not. So you can heighten all of your senses. So if you're a visual artist, there's no reason why you can't use your sense of smell, your sense of touch, your sense of hearing, all that to make your visual art get a whole lot better. There's some misconceptions too about me, like I think with this, and that some of them, like, I think people see me now and they think about like the way that I get around, the way like I'm happy and all this sort of stuff. I lost the last bit of sight really in 2001. It's been a long time. It's been like 15 years. But during that time, though, like during the first 2 or 3 years, I mean, like I constantly bruised, scraped. Like O&M sucks. Children hate the cane. They hate the cane. Every blind kid you ever meet, they're like, I hate my cane. But you got to learn to like it. You got to learn to love it. And like I broke my foot. I got hit by a couple cars. Not bad. More embarrassing for the drivers because they were either turning into something, and I was crossing the street and they ran the red light, but they just kind of hit me like, oh my God, I'm fine. And they're like, oh my God. And then there was like a car backing up out of a parking space and they didn't look behind them, and little things like that. So, at first it was very different, but after a while you start learning to use your senses in different ways, you start picking up on stuff. And if you're not sure about something, you just guess it. You just go and you try to fake it. And so, it's surprising, the more you do that, the more that you just get it right. One thing too that I just want to say too is that there's a lot of different ways for people to lose their eyesight. There are a lot of different ways. RP, macular degeneration, trauma, all sorts of stuff. There's lots of different types of vision. Beyond that, there's lots of different techniques to deal with it. And just because someone had O&M doesn't mean that they know the most recent sort of techniques that are out there. And a lot of times, people don't even find out about them. There's lots of people who are visually impaired. They have no idea what's out, that O&M has changed, that all this. And what's sad is that most people who lose their eyesight are older. And a lot of times doctors or the people themselves give up because they think, well, I'm older. I've seen for 60 years, 70 years, I guess that's just the way it's going to be now. And then they just become a recluse in a way. and that's just a sad story you see very, very often. But it's not
Happens
the
to
way that
young
has to
people
be.
too. Happens to young people too.
It does. That's absolutely true.
Well, I should say on we have 10 minutes left,
Oh, okay.
and I still have to
Let's
do
finish
that. I still have to do the MFA and that.
Okay, well, let's wrap
Um,
up the technique. But I would like to say, and I'll wrap this up really quick. If anybody has any comments, anybody has any questions about that, email me anytime about that, because I am all about that. It's just I was so fortunate, I was so lucky, and most people just are not. But anyway, that's the technique of the week. I want to pick some Gandhi.
Well, good. Do that. You paint. Okay, so I should say while you were chatting, Andy chimed in. And for anybody out there, he's an art teacher in Plano ISD, which I mean he does a million other things, and he's a phenomenal artist. But
Oh man, I wish I had that
But-
jug he made, a picture of it.
well, I mean
I'll
it's
have to show it
on the
next time.
Facebook. But I mean
Next
we're gonna have Andy in the studio, or we're gonna go to his studio, whatever. Anyway, he chimed into the thing, and he said that he had his 3D students, his sculpture students, always pick up the object and feel it before they started sculpting it, because it drastically impacted how they imagined the
Oh,
object.
that's
and all
cool.
of
Way
that.
to go,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. And Valerie chimed in as well and said that, it helps with like the planes on the face, feeling different things. Like I know when you feel people's faces and all that, it helps.
For real.
Yeah. Sculpting a face is challenging, Andy says, obviously. Okay. I want to do something really fast, because I really like, I love the people that chime into the chat, and I know the majority of you guys are artists. I'd love to feature you guys, and so John and I have a segment that we wanted to start where we give out MFAs, because really, like,
What's
piece of
that?
paper. Well, it's my favorite artist.
Oh.
Or you could go to college.
You
for
could just put
several
it as
years
a
and
line
get
in your
Master of Fine
resume.
Arts, but
You could put in a line in your resume and be like, I got an MFA.
But I've got a feeling that this MFA will probably get you into about as many places as the other MFA.
I have an MFA, so I'm probably, yeah. I agree with that.
And here you
Okay.
are.
Exactly. So, all right. This week, wait, no, we're not featuring the artist of the horse and all that. But, let's see. I wanted to feature a listener that we have. Her name is Kate Cox, and she paints in acrylics as well. And and I saw it come across her Facebook feed, and I was like, oh, that's adorable. I love it. And so she paints various things, but these few images that I'm going to show you guys they're acrylic, they're of animals, and this particular piece was a commission that she was doing for somebody. But I love the fact that I don't know, I love the personality is captured, and I almost like I can feel the nose, like the soft
It's
sort of
wet.
wet little nose.
Cold.
So she captured it absolutely perfectly. And let me show you guys. This is a cat that she did.
That's a painting?
Yes, yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and this one was a gift to somebody.
Looks like Phoenix, John, my cat. I used
Really?
to have one.
It's gray with yellow eyes. Gorgeous.
Phoenix.
Gorgeous. And the light's hitting it, so it's just glowing. It's really cute. And then we have another one of a dog that she did as a gift to somebody. So absolutely love it.
I love those clouds too in the background too.
Yeah. And you can get the wetness in the tongue and all of that, the nose, everything. She just captures that perfectly. So again, her name's Kate Cox, and Kate, if you have a link or anything like that, we'll be sure and add it in the description to shoot it our way. So another funny thing is she lives in Colorado Springs, and while we were in Colorado, she would periodically Facebook us and be like, "Are you guys okay?" Because she was aware that the wildfires were happening, and it was just kind of crazy and all of that. I wish we could have met up with her, but I mean, we were quite a bit west of Colorado Springs, but
Yeah, and Lisa too. We
Yeah,
meet up with
yeah.
her, which is another person that's on here a lot, and But yeah, the fires and everything made it.
Yeah.
Our whole plans.
Just nutty. But if we're in
Colorado now, really, or
Yeah.
heading back, but
yeah, we'd be back by now. But we didn't go the second time because it was such a crazy experience. But thank you, Kate, for the paintings. And again, if any other listeners out there want to send your art our way, we would love to show it on the show. So thank you again.
I'm so glad that you did that. And so Kate Cox is our first MFA. That's
Our
awesome.
first MFA. We have, we've showed other people before. Valerie, we showed Valerie's. I would like to show Owen's and some other people. So just, send your stuff our way. We'd love to chat about it. And we should do it earlier in the show so that we can talk about it on the chat as well. So
Yeah, that's a good thought.
Oh,
Yeah.
it is.
We'll have to do that. And we'll have to show Valerie's again someday and do an MFA.
Yeah, and what would be really cool is to be able to Skype in, or if anybody out there has a studio space and you want to Skype in with your webcam or anything, we could, because I would like to go out to Andy's space and he does wood turning and all of that, so we can film from there and all of that. It'll be fun.
Yeah, and most of the time too, on these YouTube videos, we get, I don't know, it's a random number of viewers, but we're hooking it up to different channels. So, so it's on Facebook, it's on YouTube, it's on whatever. So it's hard to add up all the views on different things. But the nice thing is that all these are going to be up there forever. So
You made it to Facebook tonight?
Hopefully. We'll check it out.
I'll have to
So
check in.
you have 4 minutes left, John. I'm gonna do a close up on the painting.
I'm about done.
Really?
Well, I think.
Really?
What? No. Well, I want to say that I'm getting close.
Very nice.
Well, thank you. My hair, man buns dissolving.
Oh, yeah, it's neat.
Very cool.
So here, okay.
So you tip your MO though sometimes is to sit on it for a couple days and.
Yeah, that's true. I got little pauses on in here.
So, but if you do that, we will be sure and post a picture of the finished product regardless, in a couple weeks because we will, in a week because we're going to be gone for about 5 days and then you're back here in the studio, which actually we should mention.
Mm-hmm.
Next week I believe we're still going to do a live show. I may be out of town. I will be out of town. That's not a question at all. But I'm probably going to Skype in from California. So it'll be kind of wacky and crazy. John's going to do his thing. He's going to get everything set up. And then I'm going to Skype in and we can all chat. So, that'll be a little different. But we will be sure and post a picture of the Gandhi painting, once John feels like he's completely done with it.
Okay, so this is Gandhi for right now.
Mm-hmm.
I must say I was very mellow, very peaceful.
It's very chill.
I didn't hurt anybody. while I painted this.
In the making of it.
There's nobody hurt in the making of this. It does make me want to. It's funny. We're working on this painting. I read a little bit about Mahatma and what he was about and all, and it seemed like a big thing that he was about was that if he could find a change or something that was different in someone else, he saw it as a good thing. He saw it as a first step at coming together and understanding that person a little better. So he would look for things that made people different. I just hit the mic. Sorry about that. Bonk. But so I thought that's kind of interesting. Most of the time, I know with me, I'm always looking for similarities between people. People that like the same music that I like, or the same movies, or into the same thing. And when people say, "Well, I've never seen Star Wars," I'm like, "Oh,
I don't understand you."
So, but no, but it's interesting though. It's a whole different way of thinking about things. So I don't know. It made me want to think about things in a little bit of a different way.
Well, Andy said, "Love the colors, weathered and wise." Valerie said, "Great color choice." Lights. She loves the bright muted colors. And I should say that Andy not only does wood turning, but I mean ceramics is his big thing. I mean kiln, ceramics and oh my gosh, Yes,
Wow.
throwing. I'm drawing a complete blank. He went to school for that. I mean, it's just phenomenal what he does. And if you haven't seen, there's a post on John's Facebook of a really cool pot that has his signature and everything that Andy did for him, which was really awesome.
Yeah, but one of these days we're gonna have to get Andy on here, or we're gonna have to go over to his place. He has a
Well,
piano,
yeah, in the next month we'll do that. That's happening for sure.
Well, you know, Sam,
Andy.
his wife, does beautiful jewelry.
Yeah, that's
that's
true.
true,
We
yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
golly.
That's true. Yeah. We talked about getting Sam on here too, and
Yeah, she does.
because we do a lot of painting, but it'd be fun to branch out and do some other things too. you
They
know?
really are
Absolutely.
learning some art, I think.
So I changed them a little bit. But yeah.
All right, so you want to give one final look? Cause it's 9 o'clock, baby.
I was going to keep painting.
All right,
That was done.
I love it. Cool.
Hey guys, thank you so much, and please like and comment on the video. It does help. It sends us in the right direction. But thank you so much for watching. It's just been it's been a blast.
Yeah, thanks again, and hope you enjoyed the damn show.